Hi, I'm Adrienne Wanamaker from Brush and Trowel. Today we are going to work with the Firmolux Milano series. It's a metallic based plaster. We have a gold, silver, and bronze base. We are going to be doing a little sample wall. We're going to put our silver on as our base and then the gold through the stencil, and then we will burnish it and it'll be sparkly elegant. So first off, what we do to prep the wall anytime that we're using the Milano is to use the micro primer. The micro primer is just put on really tight, smooth finish, and it just allows for the product, the Milano, to sit on top of the wall so that it doesn't get absorbed into it. So you get a lot more movement, a lot more square footage out of your product. So for the first coat, we're going to use the Milano Silver, and what I did here was add a little bit of raw umber, yellow oxide, and black, and that's just going to make a really nice, soft silver color to be our, it's going to be the forefront or the movement in the stencil. So before you begin putting on the Milano, you're going to want to take your trowel and just lightly run over the walls to knock down any high points. So this just leaves it all nice and smooth. So when you're putting on the plaster, you don't get any hitchhikers or shooting stars, which are just the balls of old plaster that run through under your trowel. And we're just going to cover the whole wall using a real simple movement of your trowel. You just need 100% coverage, and it's tight. So another thing when you're loading up your trowel, you just have a nice little pile on your hock and you just want to run it straight off. So you've got a nice little line of plaster that's really easy to work with. It doesn't put too much down at once. So we've got the first coat on. It's really nice to just get a good full coverage, nice even thickness. Really important part is with your trowel is doing a consistent angle, which is about like this, and a consistent pressure. And that just makes sure that your product goes on really evenly. So next, we're going to put on a second coat and we'll let that dry, and then we'll get into the stencil. So as you can see, with the second coat on, it starts to dry, so it kind of gets these little lighter areas, and this is just about the perfect time to close it out. So you're putting just a light bit of pressure on it, moving your trowel back and forth to close out the pores in the plaster and to bring that metallic to the surface, and it gives it this shimmer sit on the top. You can also tell if you touch it after you've closed it out how it's really, really smooth. And as you just kind of keep working it, it just gets a little bit smoother. You don't want to close this too much because we still are going to put a stencil on it. And we want that to adhere. We're going to start day 2. Yesterday we did the 2 coats of Milano Silver. We've let them dry, and so now we are going to mix up the Milano Gold and put it through the stencil. One of the things I've done is mix the Milano Gold with black and a little iron oxide to give it kind of a rich gold. But then I mix 1-to-1 silver gold, so it's a really subtle change, and then we'll use the brighter gold as sort of the highlights on it. When I'm applying the Venetian plaster through the stencil, it's really quite easy to do it when you roll it. So it's kind of a little shortcut so that you can get the product on fast and even, and then hit it with a Bondo blade. And then we'll go over and we'll hit little highlights with the a little bit stronger gold. One of the things I love about this hawk is that it sits on the scaffolding so that you can have your hands free when you're applying this. And I leave open spots where the gold is not totally covering, so that it gives it a little bit more of an old look. So what I'm also doing is just taking that bright gold and lightly hitting spots so that it's random. So you can see how it has the stippling from the brush, and this Bondo blade just brings it down and flattens it, and also does a nice drag of the color onto the underground, onto the base color. So now it's at this perfect dried stage where you can go in and you can burnish the metallic and the gold. And it'll just bring a little bit more luster up to the top and have a little bit more of a reflection about it. Now you can see our finished wall using the Firmolux Milano silver plaster. You can see how we've inconsistently put thick and thin, the lighter gold and the darker gold on, and burnished it to create a real uneven finish that gives it a nice aged look. We also didn't do a large variation in the colors so that it's very subtle. So go to brushandtrowel.com and find out more.